about rain tickets because they were so certain of everything. Well, that was Dave's concern yesterday.
Yeah. But it looks like it's going to
What
yeah.
are you going to do? A little cool right now, but
Yeah.
on the other hand, some of our days have been too hot.
That's right. I mean, you've been up there and when you've been sitting out there and you think you would die.
Well, good to see you.
Yeah, this is nice. I figured it out. I think this is my favorite.
He'd ask Leora to bring a sweater if you want one.
Say that again?
Dave said he'd ask Leora to bring a sweater out if you want.
Antagonism can just, pull the daughter and kind of condition situations.
Never is blinking. I shut the tally off.
Boss, intercept that iceberg and bring it.
Yeah, she's gonna catch it.
Will the audience please join us in the Pledge of Allegiance and then remain standing during the playing of the national anthem. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
ask that you remain standing for the invocation. The invocation will be presented by the Reverend Mr. Jonathan Crow, pastor of Morgan Park Presbyterian Church here in Chicago. Reverend Crow.
Let us pray. Eternal, gracious, and loving God, we give you thanks for this glorious day. And as we pause to celebrate the accomplishments of these men and women, we ask that we may also pause and recall that you are the author of all knowledge, creator of all good things, builder and author of salvation. Grant then that our hearts be filled with joy, and that our celebrations be marked by your presence. In the name of our Lord, we join in prayer. Amen.
Amen.
You may be seated. On behalf of the Board of Trustees, faculty and staff, members of the class of 1993, and the entire student body, may I welcome you to the 120th commencement exercises of Morgan Park Academy. We are pleased to have present many of our alumni, both from the days of the military academy and for more recent years. And we extend a special welcome to each alumnus with us today, as well as to the families and friends of the members of the class of 1993. The class of 1993 numbers 48 students, including one student from France and one from Honduras. 3 of these graduates entered the academy in the pre-first grade, and 19 of them graduated 4 years ago from our 8th grade. This class has much to boast of. 3 students who gained National Merit Competition recognition, 2 students honored in the National Achievement Program for Outstanding Negro Students, 14 members who received Presidential Academic Fitness Awards, and 12 Illinois State Scholars. Over 67% of the class members have received varsity athletic letters in one or more sports. 4 of them have been named all-conference athletes. Class members have received Service and Citizenship Awards, Achievement and Leadership Awards, and numerous scholarship awards. And they have been offered admission at many of the leading colleges and universities in the country. Both individually and as a group, they represent some of the brightest and the best students in the entire Chicagoland area. It is true, of course, that there are years at the Academy have not always been easy. Like teenagers everywhere, some of them have experienced academic difficulties, personal frustrations. Some of them have had an unusual number of conflicts with their teachers and their parents and their peers. But they are survivors. And in the competitive world of college and beyond, which they are now about to enter, we are confident that not only will they continue to survive, that also they will be recognized as leaders in their generation. For all of their accomplishments to date, I commend them. And on their commencement day, I would like to take this opportunity to wish them health, happiness, and success in all of their future endeavors. Our congratulations to the class of 1993. The class oration will now be delivered by Elizabeth Chang, valedictorian of the class of 1993. Elizabeth.
My fellow classmates, I have grown up with you, and it will be strange to see everybody leave. We are separating, and we won't have to deal with our fierce 309 English debates or the horrible smell of the student lounge. We won't be competing over U.S. history timelines or trying to figure out how to wire those science kits without using the numbers. Now, we have real life facing us, and we have to push our ways through, because from what I see and hear, it is not an easy world out there. When I found out that I had to prepare a speech to send this class off, I thought, what could I possibly advise to a class like this? Sure, I could go to each one of you and tell you to never give up, but you probably have already heard that. Fortunately, because the intimate senioritis prevented me from studying much of anything else, I thought about my speech to you, and I studied this class of 1993 long and hard. What I saw was courage, strength, and power. However, these very qualities have also cruelly separated us, and this is what I fear most in the future as we integrate with the already divided country. We have the power to do something about our social divisions that we will encounter somewhere in the world time and time again. And as Martin Luther King Jr. pronounced 30 years ago, I have a dream. It is sad to reflect that our class of 47 was so divided. It was a problem that only grew from freshman year, and everyone here knew about it. We have such a small class, yet many of you could not get along with another peer simply because of their culture, or grade point average, or even such things as their haircut. In fact, the other classes and faculty members noticed it also. Unfortunately, as we mix with more people in the world, the problem will not stop nor become easier unless we each strive to do something about it. Morgan Park Academy held so many resources for understanding people and learning about cooperation. So many cultures and personalities are represented. In fact, this class probably shows this diversity the most. When we leave today, we are on our way to control the future of the world. We will see and meet people of different social class, race, and personality. And like it or not, we all must coexist and bind together to conquer the problems which will face us, merely in order to survive as humans, a country, and a world. In this class, I see a strength that could easily conquer the world. Unfortunately, many of you have used this strength only to deepen your prejudices. But all of you have enough power to set things straight for the future, as long as you make some adjustments along the way. I firmly believe this, and I firmly believe in you. After today, our graffitied names on the desk, our memories of Jeopardy and homecoming winners, and our highly competitive grade point averages will stay here. But each one of us will be on our separate path towards, quote, the real world. We need to start thinking about what we are going to do with ourselves as persons, friends, workers, and citizens. I realize that some of you just want to get rich quick and live off of caviar and beer for the rest of your lives. But I ask you not to waste the talent and power I see in front of me. There is power here, and I know that we have the ability to take the world one step further. When a friend asked me recently what I want to do with my life, I responded spontaneously, I want to create world peace, as if it were not any problem. She laughed and called me a fuzzy-minded dreamer. Well, we are all fuzzy-minded dreamers sometimes, and we need to be, because our hopes and our dreams are the only drive that will make us truly achieve progress. Throughout history, humankind has gone round in circles. The homeless, the starving, racism, sexism, and the environment seem to be problems without end. And as future leaders of the world, we must start moving forward. This will require the strength which we already possess, and intelligence we have. But the strength and intelligence will produce negative results if we don't strive for the unity and harmony we lack here. We must stand together, learn from each other, and fight on the same team. When you go off to college or to work, please remember that. Because as Benjamin Franklin proclaimed, If we do not hang together, then surely we will be hung separately. Thank you.
Thank you, Elizabeth. You may have noticed the variety of headgear that the members of the class of 1993 are wearing. Standard mortarboard color is red, and some students who are members of the National Honor Society wear a gold tassel. In addition, those members of the class of 1993 who are members of the Cum Laude Society also wear the gold mortarboard. And you may have noticed that this has both the gold cap and the gold tassel as well. We are honored today to have as our commencement speaker Mr. Thomas Reed, the president of the Independent Schools Association of the Central States. A graduate of Philip Exeter Academy, Mr. Reed received his AB in Biochemical Sciences from Harvard University and his MA in Mathematics from Toledo University. He has completed additional graduate work in education at Rutgers University and studied administration, planning, and social policy at Harvard as a Bush Leadership Fellow. Mr. Reed held faculty positions at 3 outstanding independent schools prior to being named headmaster at Hampton Roads Academy in Virginia. Subsequently, he also headed St. Paul Academy and Summit School in Minnesota and St. John's School in Houston, Texas. In 1992, he became president of the Independent Schools Association of the Central States, or ISICS, as it is commonly called. Since 1983, Mr. Reed has served with the United States Department of Education in the Exemplary Schools Recognition Program, more often referred to as the Blue Ribbon Schools Program. Several months ago, Tom announced his resignation from the presidency of ISICS for later this month. But anyone who thinks that retirement for Tom Reed will mean sitting in a rocking chair simply does not know him. Over the years, he has served on numerous commissions, boards, and committees, and I'm certain all of this type of work will continue after his retirement. I also know that in the months ahead, Tom will be writing, traveling, consulting, and even doing some acting, if I remember correctly, Tom. He has an amazing capacity for work, and I have been privileged to share service with him in several ways over the past decade. With Tom today is his wife, Joan, and we welcome her to our graduation ceremonies today. From his broad experience in independent school education, Tom has gained both knowledge and wisdom. We look forward to his remarks to our seniors today. I'm honored to present as speaker at these 120th commencement exercises, Mr. Thomas Reed.
Thank you, Mr. Jones, distinguished members of the class of 1993, and ladies and gentlemen, all of the Morgan Park community. I'm deeply honored to have this opportunity to be with you on this beautiful day to bring greetings from the Independent Schools Association of the Central States and the other 170 members schools in our 15-state region. Before beginning some remarks, I would like to say a bit about my good friend David Jones, who invited me here to be here with you today. I'll keep this very brief because it's your day, not his. But you should know that he is the epitome of endurance. At the end of 36 years at Morgan Park Academy, 27 years as headmaster, he is clearly the unrivaled dean of all independent school heads in our 15-state region. Because of my position with ISICS, which is the accrediting body for Morgan Park Academy, I've been able to sense something of the stability and strength that he has brought to your school, particularly during years that have posed unprecedented and demographic and economic challenges for all schools, public and private. Morgan Park Academy has been a source of inspiration for many reasons, but the wonderful diversity of your student body, as represented in your class, and in the way in which Morgan Park Academy has capitalized on the possibilities of being an urban inner-city school have stood out, and that's in due respect to the challenges issued by your valedictorian. Under Mr. Jones' leadership, Morgan Park Academy has become one of the most interesting independent schools in our membership, one that truly demonstrates the best features of pluralism in America. I'm sure that David and Lee are excited that their first of 3 grandchildren will attend the academy next year at the preschool. I would also just like to say something about some of the things that Mr. Jones has done outside of Morgan Park Academy for independent education. He has twice been on the board of directors of Isaacs, both times as treasurer and chair of the finance committee. He has been chair of the evaluation review committee, which oversees the evaluation accreditation program since 1988. He has chaired 30 evaluation visiting teams. He is quite literally the independent school guru on school assessment and accreditation. In this capacity, he has provided enormous support for me in countless ways, and I'm deeply grateful to him, as are the many, many schools which are stronger today because of his guidance and help. Compliments to you, Mr. Jones. I'd like to tell you at the outset that my good friend David did caution me not to go on too long this morning. He reminded me of the lengths of some well-known addresses. The Lord's Prayer has 56 words in it. Lincoln's Gettysburg Address is 266 words. The 10 Commandments of 297. The Declaration of Independence, 300. A recent United States government regulation concerning asbestos inspection has 26,911 words. I assure you that my talk will be somewhere between the Lord's Prayer and asbestos. As a text for this morning, I'd like to talk about one aspect of independence, the independent mind. In my introduction, I referred to Morgan Park Academy as an independent school. I wonder if many of you really understand what it is to be an independent school. An independent school is, of course, a private school, but independent schools, numbering about 1,500 across the country, differ from the more than 25,000 other private schools in several respects. These include having an independent governing structure, a structure that is completely free from governmental or dogmatic control, and an independent financial structure, one that depends upon the quality of the school being so high that students will choose to come, their parents will choose to pay what it costs, and their patrons will give generously to support programs, teaching, and facilities. Now, while independence of governance and financial structure are important, that they give your administration and faculty the freedom to make Morgan Park Academy the very best school it can be, it's a third meaning of independence that I want to talk about today. This is independence as a major focus of curriculum, teaching, and learning. Our independent schools vary enormously with respect to purpose, philosophy, program, and practices, but they all have a common commitment to the development of the mind. A mind that uses a sound foundation of skills and knowledge to think independently, create independently, and achieve independently. Many of our schools have a program called Independent Study, but the real focus of all independent school curriculum is to nurture the independent student. I was reminded of the importance of this while watching a televised report very recently on the graduation ceremony at West Point, United States Military Academy. The commentator reminded the television audience of how drastically the world has changed since the graduating seniors entered the academy in 1989, just before the disappearance of the Berlin Wall. With this drastically changed world has come enormous changes in the nature of relations of the United States with the rest of the world and the nature of military obligations and needs. It is readily apparent that the West Point graduates of 1993 will be required to extend themselves well beyond the boundaries of their basic training if they are to adapt to the shifting paradigms and to make significant contributions in a new world, a world that they could not even envision when they first entered West Point. While the West Point example may appear to be dramatically different at this fascinating moment in history, the situation is really no different for any of us. The world has changed for all of us. We are all facing new paradigms, whether we're going to college as you are or retiring as I am. And the point of my talk this morning is that how well we cope with, succeed in, and find happiness in whatever new world we face will depend upon our ability to use our independent mind to work at the boundaries of our present knowledge and background, and at times to go beyond and outside the limits of such boundaries. There's nothing new in anticipating such changes in the world we face, in spite of the apparent belief in some present politicians that change is a new invention. Your school itself has had to meet the challenges of demographic and economic changes few could have anticipated years ago. You may find this hard to believe, but there was really no such thing as television when I grew up. When I was in college, the only computer we knew about was something called ENIAC, E-N-I-A-C, housed at the University of Pennsylvania. ENIAC, the first American full-scale computer, occupied several rooms with specially constructed high ceilings. It cost $83 million. Its operation depended upon thousands of radio tubes, one of which would burn out every 7 seconds. This gigantic apparatus, however, could only do a small fraction of what your home computer can do now in a tiny fraction of the time. Now, amazing as such advances in technology appear to be, they are only typical of changes in almost everything else. I remember reading recently that of all the scientists, mathematicians, and inventors who have existed on this planet since the beginning of time, 90% of them are alive, working, and creating today. Thus, there is, and there will be, nothing new in facing change. What will have to be new is our ability to deal with it. Now, realizing that what I've said so far may appear to be a bit abstract, let me try to flesh it out with two examples of people who have successfully worked outside the boundaries of ordinary knowledge and thinking. Both represent examples of the kind of truly creative, entrepreneurial thinking that is necessary to succeed in a world that we cannot define now in terms of known characteristics, and yet which will be the world in which you'll have to work and live. The first example is a man who spoke at a recent conference for the heads of schools in our association. He's Paul McGreedy, a California scientist who invented and developed what is known as the Gossamer aircraft. This aircraft was built by Paul McGreedy in competition for a major international financial prize known as the Kramer Prize. The prize was to be awarded to the first person or group to develop an aircraft powered exclusively by a human being that successfully crossed the English Channel. McGreedy's invention looked like a combination of kite and glider, made of the lightest possible frame and transparent covering, which was able to hold an athletic young man who turned a propeller by means of a bicycle-type arrangement of gears and chains. One of these Gossamer aircraft, like the one that won the Kramer Prize, now hangs in the Smithsonian Aerospace Museum in Washington, next to Charles Lindbergh's Spirit of St. Louis, the first airplane to cross the Atlantic Ocean successfully. The Kramer Prize competition was entered by many governmental-sponsored scientific teams and international collaborators. Many of these competing groups had access to enormous amounts of money and resources. After the competition was over, however, the winner of the Kramer Prize was the relatively poorly financed California scientist, Paul McGrady. When McGrady is asked why he won the prize and others did not, he has a simple answer. He says that he won the prize because among all contestants, he was the only one who was not an aeronautical engineer. The point that he makes in that in not being an aeronautical engineer, he was not confined by the mental constraints and mental conditioning that had become ingrained in the approach of his competitors to aircraft design. Being free of the limits of school patterns of thought, he was able to find a solution outside of conventional aircraft design that the others could not imagine. Incidentally, Paul McGrady goes on to say that the only major government not represented in the competition for the Kramer Prize was Germany. According to him, German scientific groups considered entering the competition, but a highly respected international scientist gave a talk in Germany in which he proved, quote unquote, that no person-powered aircraft could be developed that could cross the English Channel. The German scientists decided not even to try for the Kramer Prize because of their conviction that no solution could be found. I'd like to give a second illustration of entrepreneurial thinking by telling my favorite science teacher story. I was a science teacher for many years. This story involves a physics student who might have graduated from Morgan Park Academy in St. Louis who failed a quiz and then appealed to the head of the science department. The quiz consisted of one question. How could you determine the height of a tall building with a barometer? Now, for those of you who may not quite remember the basic science involved in this question, let me just remind you that a barometer measures air pressure, that air pressure decreases with altitude, and that a barometer can thus measure altitude. The student did not give the answer sought by the instructor, but claimed that her answer was just as good as the official one, and went on to the head of the science department to find an impartial referee. The department head agreed to be such a referee and then looked at the student's answer, which read as follows. To determine the height of a tall building with a barometer, you take the barometer to the top of the building, drop it over the side, with your stopwatch, time the instant the barometer smashes to the pavement below, and by using the well-known formula S equals 1/2 GT squared, determine the height of the building. The head of the science department, being a fair person, could only agree that this answer was a correct solution and overruled his colleague. But he did admonish the student and asked if the student knew what answer the instructor was looking for. The student admitted that she did know the answer, but resisted giving it because of other possibilities. When the department head said or asked, "Do you mean that you have some other answers?" the student said, "Oh, sure I do. There are several other answers I could have given. One is to put the barometer in the sun, measure its height and shadow length, measure the length of the building shadow, and by using the simple proportion, calculate the height of the building." She went on to say, another solution I thought of is to walk up the stairs of the building, measuring the wall up by laying the barometer against it, and counting the number of barometer lengths it takes to get to the top of the building. But a solution that I like even better, she went on to say, is to knock on the door of the building superintendent and say, "Mr. Superintendent, here I have a shiny new barometer in beautiful condition. If you tell me the height of the building, the instrument is yours." All this, I think, illustrates the importance of thinking, be it creative or entrepreneurial, that is not fettered by the specifics of what we learn. While the state of the national economy and political system is beyond the scope of this talk, I cannot help being reminded of how rarely this type of creative thinking is employed by governmental and political leadership. The history of mankind is filled with examples of failure to adapt to new conditions caused by the unconscious constraints of fettered thinking. Let me point out to you just one of these. Seniors, may I ask you to look at your wristwatch if you're wearing one? Do you know where your particular watch was made? For most of you, I would be willing to wager that your watch was made in Japan. I would like next to ask your parents, I don't know where you are, to try to think back to your high school graduation, which might on the average be somewhere around 25 years ago. Let us say about 1968. Now, I'm not sure that any of us can remember the watch we wore in 1968, but if we could, where do you think that watch was most likely made? For many of us, our watch would have been made in Switzerland, which in 1968 sold over 65% of the world's watches, possibly close to the proportion of watches now sold by Japan. 10 years later, in 1978, the Swiss sold less than 10% of the world's watches. What happened to cause Switzerland to lose such an enormous share of its vital industry? The answer I'm sure you know. It was the development of the quartz crystal electronic watch powered by a battery to a degree of consistency and accuracy not possible in the very best of switch watches run by springs, gears, and levers. What many of you may not know, however, is who invented the quartz electronic watch. Surprisingly, it was the Swiss themselves who invented it in 1967. But the Swiss inventors were not able to convince the Swiss manufacturers to move away from their conventional watchmaking industry. The Swiss inventors did, however, present their invention and concept at an international Clark conference in 1968. There happened to be some Japanese watchmakers present at this conference, and the rest is history. Perhaps it's time to make an important clarification. I hope that none of you have read into my remarks or my anecdotes any criticism of basic conventions, basic values, basic faith, or basic education. To the contrary, none of the creative, independent, entrepreneurial thinking I'm talking about is possible in people without basic skills, basic knowledge, and basic values. Such a foundation is absolutely vital. Without such a foundation, there are no boundaries to expand or to go beyond. I know that Morgan Park Academy has provided you with a splendid basic foundation. I also know that it has tried hard to help you develop problem-solving skills, and that it has provided you with opportunities to take risks, ask new questions, and pose alternative solutions, all elements of the kind of creative entrepreneurial thinking I've been talking about. No school by itself, however, can guarantee that students, even those with the best grades, will develop these thinking skills beyond the conventional mode. Independent thinking occurs only when you personally seek opportunities to discover new paradigms and to work at the edges of what is already known. While such decisions can happen in school or college, they often occur outside and beyond the institutional arena. Independent thinking occurs when you individually believe that there is always more to learn, and you individually make a personal commitment to such discovery. I do hope that you are appropriately grateful to your parents, your teachers, your mentors, your classmates, and your school for the excellent foundation you have acquired here at Morgan Park Academy. But I also hope that you will not allow yourself to be limited by the present boundaries of the excellent foundation you have, but rather to use that foundation in new, liberating, and exciting ways. What can be a better time to focus on the possibilities of your independent mind than when you're about to leave the independent school for exciting new ventures in a new environment. Members of the class of 1993, enjoy your independent mind, use it well, and good luck to all of you. Thank you.
I'm sure I speak on behalf of the graduating class and all of you present when I thank Tom for the insight and the challenge presented in his remarks this morning. Thank you. We will begin the presentation of awards with the presentation of academic awards by Mr. Robert Stelton, the Dean of Faculty in the upper school. Mr. Stelton.
Friends of Morgan Park Academy, parents, students, and of course graduates, good morning. It's my pleasure this morning to recognize those students who have achieved academic excellence and to make several presentations. The first presentation that I would like to make is a bronze medal to the student with the third highest academic standing in the upper school throughout the school year. That student is Michael Danielowitz. Will you please step forward? The next presentation is a silver medal to the student with the second highest academic standing in the upper school throughout the school year. The recipient of that award is Jennifer Lee and Siddharth Kakudan. Tie this year. Long year, long walk. A gold medal to the student with the highest academic standing in the upper school throughout the school year. Will Deepa Matthew please step forward? Following students' names will be placed on the plaque in the school for having earned the highest academic average in their class. Freshman, Deepa Matthew. Sophomore, Jennifer Lee. Junior, Deborah Ayugeti. And senior, Elizabeth Chang. Congratulations to all.
Thank you, Mr. Stelton. The presentation of the Michael A. Lombard Award will be made by Ms. Charlotte Boycedo of the Mount Greenwood Bank. Charlotte?
Thank you very much. It's certainly my pleasure this morning to present the Michael A. Lombard Award. I'd like to take just a moment, thank you, to tell you about Mr. Michael Lombard. Mr. Lombard has been a lifelong Southside resident and has always had strong leadership abilities. He's the owner of the Lombard Company in Elsa and also serves as Vice Chairman of the Mount Greenwood Bank Board of Directors. He has always had a strong commitment to education, and it's his pleasure and he takes great pride in giving this award. This is the 14th year that we have presented the Michael A. Lombard Award. We are presenting the award to a student who is a member of the junior class. The criteria consists of his faithfulness to the Academy's tradition of excellence in citizenship, superior scholarship, and dedication to the enhancement of the common good. Without keeping you in suspense any longer, I will tell you that this year's recipient, junior class member, Michael Bechtel. Michael, you'll make your way forward. I see you, Michael. I'll tell you while Michael's coming up here, some of the things he has done to earn this award. Michael is a member of the National Honor Society. He has served as Secretary of the Student Council. He is a member of the Kiwanis Key Club Board of Directors. He has worked within the school as a student volunteer, and he has also earned letters in varsity soccer and track. Also want to congratulate Michael, who was chosen for participation in the Hugh O'Brien Youth Award Program. Michael? Class, Michael, and a check for $500. Well, congratulations.
I might just mention that at the Honors and Awards Assembly last night, Michael must have come to the stage at least 3 or 4 times to receive highest achievement awards and other awards that were presented at that assembly last evening. The American Legion Citizenship Awards will be presented by Mr. Raymond Myers of the Beverly Hills Post 407. Mr. Myers.
Mr. Jones, faculty, guests, and graduates, on behalf of the Beverly Hills American Legion Post 407, I would like to recognize 2 members of this class for their outstanding citizenship, character, and service. Congratulations to this year's award recipient, Latanya Broyle and Johnny Johnson.
Presentation of the Henry W. Kennedy Kiwanis Distinguished Service Award will be made by Mr. Fred Marino, President of Southwest Kiwanis. Mr. Marino.
Thank you. Graduating class of 1993, Morgan Park Academy faculty, administration, staff, and family. Good morning. Grand morning it is, too. It is indeed an honor for me to be here this morning to present the Henry W. Kennedy Kiwanis Distinguished Service Award. Henry W. Kennedy, who dedicated his life to service of others in the Beverly and Morgan Park community, much the way today's recipients have done. The Henry W. Kennedy Kiwanis Distinguished Service Award is a Distinguished Service Certificate and a $150 United States savings bond presented to the 2 outstanding Key Club members based upon leadership, character, and service to the club, school, community. As selected by the Key Club Faculty Advisor, a group of 4 peers chosen by the Key Club Board of Directors. This year's recipient of the Henry W. Kennedy Kiwanis Distinguished Service Award have distinguished themselves through vigorous, unselfish dedication to Morgan Park Academy, through their participation in a myriad of co-curricular activities and leadership positions. Their dedication not only to Morgan Park Academy, but also to Morgan Park Beverly Hills community has set an example for their peers to emulate. Both these recipients have carried out their responsibilities with noteworthy success and have made Morgan Park Academy Key Club and Morgan Park Academy shine in the eyes of the community. Outside of school, they are instrumental in working with other organizations and have constantly offered aid and assistance to residents in the community. As today's 2 recipients go through their college years, it is our hope and desire that they continue to carry themselves in the Kiwanis Key Club spirit of unselfishly helping others. It is my honor and privilege to present this year's Henry W. Kennedy Distinguished Service Award to former Lieutenant Governor of Division 3 South, Ms. Shannon Silverman. to Mr. Philip Danielevich. Job well done. Thank you.
Mr. Michael Rogers, a member of the class of 1969, will, on behalf of the Alumni Association, make a presentation of the Gene Landon Taylor Alumni Award. Mike.
Congratulations to the class of 1993 and welcome to the Alumni Association. Don't forget to pay your dues next year, $1. The Gene Landon Taylor Alumni Award is presented to a senior in recognition of academic achievement, citizenship, and participation in school activities. This year, the Captain Taylor Alumni Award goes to Miriam Gillen.
Fathers Club Scholarship Award presentation will be made by Mr. William Collins, President of the Fathers Club. Mr. Collins.
The Fathers Club Scholarship Award is presented to an outstanding senior in recognition of scholastic excellence, citizenship, and participation in school activities. This year is presented to Jody Kapjan. Jody is an Illinois State Scholar and commended student in National Merit Competition. She has been elected to membership in National Honor Society, Cum Laude Society. Jody served this year as Senior Class Treasurer, Assistant Editor, Literary Magazine, News Editor of the school newspaper, and Secretary of Kiwanis Ski Club. Her other activities include Drama Club and Model United Nations. Jody will attend Swarthmore College.
The next two awards are presented to the salutatorian and valedictorian of the senior class. The salutatorian of the senior class for this year, Christopher Canope. I mentioned that the ceremony involved with the presentation of this award is for the officers of the junior class to lower the flag, which will be presented. Please congratulate Mr. Knockett on my behalf. Enjoy the flag and fly it with pride. This is the plaque indicating the Harry D. Abel Award to the salutatorian of the class of 1993. And I might just mention briefly that these two awards, the Harry D. Abel Award and the Hayden Jones Award, are named in honor of two men who served the academy here during the military days. Actually, both began as part of the faculty of Morgan Park Academy in the pre-1900 years and served until the late 1940s, so that these two men, Colonel Abels and Colonel Jones, led the school through almost a half a century of its history. And these two awards that are presented each year are the highest awards presented to students from Morgan Park Academy. Chris? Chris is a member of the Cum Laude Society and the Kiwanis Key Club. He's earned highest achievement awards in social studies and U.S. history, and last night received the Henry T. Lee Science Award. Chris will attend Northwestern University. We had the presentation of the Gene Landon Taylor Alumni Award a few minutes ago to Miriam Gillen, and I would just like to briefly read and tell you a little bit about Miriam as well. Miriam is an Illinois State Scholar and a member of both the Cum Laude Society and the National Honor Society. She has earned a varsity letter in tennis, has served on the Student Council, and has worked on the literary magazine staff. Miriam has been elected to the National French and Spanish Honor Societies, and last night received the highest achievement award in foreign language. She will attend Brown University in the fall. And I can't remember if I mentioned that Chris will be attending Northwestern University. Chris, there's a certificate in this box, and you may come up after the ceremonies and pick up the box as well. The Hayden E. Jones Cup and Plaque is presented to the valedictorian of the senior class you've already met, Elizabeth Chang. Elizabeth? Elizabeth, I'm going to ask you first of all if you'll also try to take. Here, maybe I can get it on over. Let's try. You bend your head down. We should have that science student that Mr. Reed told us about to figure out how to get that over. Liz, this is the plaque indicating the award as valedictorian. And this is the cup that is presented each year to the valedictorian of the senior class. Liz's name will be engraved, and this will be displayed throughout the school year, but we allow her to take it home and have her picture taken with it for at least a week or two. So our congratulations to Liz. Elizabeth has been an Academy student since the pre-first grade. Just recently, she was named a Tandy Technology Scholar, one of the highest honors nationally. She is president of the National Honor Society and a member of the Cum Laude Society, and she has earned highest achievement awards in English, French, humanities, and mathematics. She will pursue studies in English and political science at Amherst College. Our congratulations to you, Liz. Now the moment that all of you, I'm sure, have been waiting for, the presentation of the diplomas of graduation to the class of 1993. Unfortunately, Mr. Earl Irwin, the immediate past president of the Board of Trustees, is unable to be with us this morning. He called and asked if he could possibly be excused. When Mr. Irwin was a member of the faculty here some years ago at Morgan Park Academy, he also served as tennis coach. And he's raised his sons in the same tradition, and today 2 of his sons are participating in the state tennis tournaments in the state of Michigan. So he really kind of wanted to be with his sons on this day, and we excused him. But we are delighted to have assisting in the presentation of diplomas this morning, Mr. Roger Liss, our newly elected chairman, president of the Board of Trustees, and so Mr. Liss will assist in this regard. Members of the class of 1993, Elham Lee Abdishi. Congratulations. Sergio Damian Brock. Latanya Kisa Broyles. Alain Brunet. Alain is a native of France. Elizabeth Lee Chang. Michael Lee Christensen. Stephanie Elise Colbert. Julie Christine Quadros. Philip Edward Danielovich.
Rachel.
Jesus Garcia. Congratulations. Miriam Galen. Greta Hines. Mark Allen Hopkins. Johnny Mac Johnson, Jr. Leopold Jurado. Jody Ann Cecilia Capjohn. Christopher Robert Knopick. Catherine Ellen Kozachin. Timothy Christian Knutson. Love you, sir. That was not intentional. We just have them on my list in out of alphabetical order. Must be frightening, though. Catherine Ellen Kozachev. May have to switch. You did it. Good. Kai Anthony Lewis. Sorry about the next. Knicks fan. Kelly Rochelle Love. Samit Mahisakar. Pedro Martinez, our student from Honduras. Pedro. Harold Francis McGrath III. Michael Farametzla. Nathaniel Edward Morgan III. Anne Marie Murphy. Terrence R. Nichols.
Yes! Terrence!
Make him wait. Sadar Nomikas.
Oh, thanks, sir.
If you were present last night, you know why the voting went as it did. Sanjay Bakul Pandya. Niraj Mahendra Patel. Amanda Sue Price. Shazad Rasul. Edward W. Robinson III. Congratulations, Scott.
Thank you, sir.
Jennifer Rebecca Rosiak. Allison Leslie Rubin Ash. Vishal Shankar Sanmalani. Robert Joseph Schroeder. Arpit Suresh Shah. Shannon Belinda Stockdale Silverman. Geraldine Ann Strasser. Netta Sunbuli. Charles Edward Taylor, Jr.
Go Charles! Go Charles!
Nicholas Kedzie Thorpe. Elizabeth Winger. Tiffany Chandray Woody. Sherry LaShawn Woodson. Nellie Alice Uretzian. Our congratulations to all of the members of the class of 1993. In just a minute, the members of the class will leave, and it's our custom to have them leave and come around, and they form a large semicircle on the campus walk here just immediately behind me. So we would like to ask if the persons in attendance here today would wait in place until the class members have found their positions on the walk. Thank you very much for coming this morning, and again, congratulations to the members of the class, and thank you to all of the parents. It's been great having these people here.
At this time, on behalf of the senior class, I would like to present to the Academy the senior gift, with the sincerest hopes that the Academy will use this money and put it to good use.
All rise. Men and women of the class of 1993, parents, friends, and family, may the Lord bless and keep you. May the Lord let his face shine upon you. May the Lord lift his countenance upon you and give you peace, now and forevermore. Amen.
Yeah, strict. You got
All right. I'm sure you guys have a big party tonight, right? Oh, okay. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I taught her nothing. Oh, that's a lie. What a lie. Yeah, okay.
Oh, wait a minute, your mom.
Thank you. You get one of you four.
Oh, here. I don't have any more.
Hey, James.
Ready. Come on, Dave.
Yeah, Jane.
Hey, guys, give me your best luck. Good girl.
Okay.
Byron Mom wants.
Yeah.
Yesterday's.
Let me get one. Should we stay here?
Congratulations.
I tried. We made one. We got one of them.
All right, come on, man. Let me get a picture.
It's the whole family.
I can get them together. Okay, get your mom.
Con your cousin.
We were non-stop. You still get so many things.
Maya, get over there in the picture. Go over there in the picture. Go ahead, hurry up. All right. All right. Good. Good.
Okay.
Yo, try to stay camera.
Run the bit.
Just the other side. Just the other side of the
You get an envelope and not a...
Congratulations. Let me walk through this. All right.
Yeah, we're here to like have a drive out there. Guys, this is
Yeah,
Okay, I have
I'll have to get the book done.
Yeah. This is 99 cents. No.
Yeah, we're
Ehi, lunghetta.
Let's get out. I have that
How's Ani?